and visual prognosis by Ignacio Flores Moreno, Spain.
Good morning, I'm Ignacio Flores. I will introduce our last work in posterior staphyloma about the relevance of the subtype posterior staphyloma in myopic maculopathy and visual prognosis. Cartin, a long time ago, described this classification based on primary and compound posterior staphyloma. There were 5 primary and 5 compound. Some years ago, Professor No Matsui from Japan redefined this classification, talking about the same 5 primary posterior staphyloma, and then the others that were based on the compound described at Cartin before. Some examples of posterior staphyloma, the type 1, type 2, and the very popular type 3 posterior staphyloma. Some example of the compound with type 7 and type 9 with this typical ridge or septum between the macula and the optic nerve. So the purpose of the study was to analyze the impact of posterior staphyloma depending on the subtypes on the incidence and severity of myopic maculopathy and its repercussion on patient visual prognosis. Our methods. We performed a cross-sectional non-interventional study. We included high myopic patients defined by axial length. All the patients underwent a complete ophthalmologic examination, including best-corrected visual acuity. The presence of posterior staphyloma we define using Cartins, multimodal imaging, and we performed the ATN grading system that we described many years ago, that it is based on the atrophic, the traction, and neovascular component, and here's the explanation. So our results. We included 473 eyes from 259 patients. 62% of the eyes were classified as pathologic myopia and almost 40% as severe pathologic myopia. And posterior staphyloma was present in almost 70% of our eyes. Cartin's classification, 3 of 4 from 4 each 3 from 4 eyes were simple posterior staphyloma and 26% were compound. Eyes with posterior staphyloma were older, longer, worse vision, and higher stage in the atrophic, traction, and neovascular component with a difference. The compound subtypes showed worse vision and higher maculopathy. If we split the sample into posterior staphyloma with macular involvement, we define with type 1, type 2, some of our eyes with type 5, and all the compounds. This was like 54% of the cases. Those posterior staphyloma affecting the macular region had worse best-corrected visual acuity, were longer, and also had greater stage in atrophic, traction, and neovascular component. The posterior staphyloma was the best predictor for vision in myopic patients, associating a decrease in vision of 0.24 logMAR units. The risk of staphyloma increases 8% every year older and 70% for every millimeter increasing in axial length. And the risk of posterior staphyloma presence in eyes with pathologic myopia and severe pathologic myopia was almost 90% and 96% respectively. So to conclude, posterior staphyloma presence determines higher risk of myopic maculopathy and therefore worse visual prognosis, especially in those with macular involvement. Staphyloma classifications can be simplified in macular involvement or not, and posterior staphyloma represent the best predictor for best corrected visual acuity in highly myopic patients. We published this work in Eye in this year, so if you want further information, you can look for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll have the discussion at the end, and I apologize for all the disturbance on this side, but it works now. So the next